Zhylaw here. This is my first ever video log. Captain Stardate Supplemental. Okay, maybe not. I'm going to update this on a semi-regular basis to give people an idea of things percolating within my mind, my personal insights in the industry, and of course updates into what's going on my YouTube channel and of course my Twitch channel. There's been a very large transition in my show, and I wasn't sure if it was going to stick. Now that I'm pretty happy with where it is, and I've cemented my decision, I wanted to make this video log to let you, my wonderful viewers, know exactly what's going on. I've decided to move away from streaming MMOs and go back into standard game streaming for a variety of reasons, and I'm going to get into that right now. First of all, I have not decided to quit Neverwinter. I'm still playing, well, not as much as I was. My activities in Neverwinter will continue regardless of whether or not they're actually broadcast. Some of my really old fans will actually know that before I started streaming, and in any sort of MMORPG, I was actually streaming single-player games, and I had always envisioned myself as a bit of a kind of single-player, story-oriented streamer. The first game I ever streamed was XIII, the cartoon cel-shaded shooter. And the second game I ever streamed was Warcraft 3, the RTS. Yes, so I was streaming those way back. I made the jump to MMOs in an effort to increase my stream interactivity and to possibly increase the popularity of our channel, our community. I had originally hesitated to do that for some reasons, and all my fears kind of happened. So let me discuss in detail why I'm making this decision. First of all, I really don't like having a channel built solely around playing one game in particular, because then you get people that are coming to your channel that are just there because they want to see that game and not because they want to be part of your community or because they want to see you as a broadcaster. And I always wanted to have a channel built around myself and what I envisioned as entertainment and entertaining, and not so much as, just be here for this game. Because then if you ever decide to switch games, whether all you stream is a platformer like Meat Boy or all you stream is an MMO, if you ever decide to switch to a different MMO, you're going to have a lot of trouble because people were just fixated on that. The second reason being that when you introduce an online component, and especially in an MMO format, it adds so many variables, uncontrollable variables, because all the people in an MMO that you interact with, and you get a lot of ne'er-do-wells, you get a lot of trolls, people trying to ruin other people's good times, or even fans who don't understand how harmful some of their activities can be. Not to mention, when you have a very strict moral compass, you'll frequently be at odds with a lot of players in these games. And if you're just a gamer, let's say you just play Neverwinter and you're like, oh, no, I don't want to exploit, it's not a big deal. But when you're a broadcaster, it paints a really big target on yourself when you try and say, I don't do this or this isn't cool. And it makes things very difficult. Also, MMOs, they're fun, but it kind of ruins it when you just play that one game all the time. Because no matter how much fun you have in an MMO, when you stream just that one game, you're going to run out of things to do, and it kind of ruins it for yourself. Whereas if you just play MMOs yourself, away from the prying eyes of the public, you can enjoy it. It's like your guilty pleasure. And I think one of the reasons that a lot of the magic disappeared so quickly for me, for Neverwinter in particular, is that I had streamed so much of it and I forced myself to keep playing that and not stream anything else. Furthermore, and this is a particularly big issue, when you are only streaming an online game, you tether your future and your fortune to a company you have no control over. If the MMO you play gets shut down, you are literally shit out of luck, and you have to just pick another one or something. Like, where do you go from there? You can't control an online game like that. Or if they make some very unfavorable decisions in the game development that you don't like, once again, you are kind of stuck with that game that you have no control over. And when you are also fixated on playing one game in particular, as a professional broadcaster, um, viewer numbers and popularity is also a factor. And if the interest in a particular title wanes, you're in trouble because you've hitched your wagon to that and you can't play anything else. Whereas, when you go from game to game based on what you feel like playing at the moment, you have a much more flexible outlook. So for a whole variety of reasons, I've decided to try and step back a bit from streaming MMOs and obviously Neverwinter. I will continue to play Neverwinter and probably enjoy it more now that I don't stream it. And I will try and move back into my original concept of streaming more story-oriented, single-player, challengey kind of type games. Not that I'm saying I'll never play anything with an online component or something, but I wanted that to be more of the focus of the channel. And now that we got a green screen, I think that it will keep us competitive, and it'll also make it a lot more fun to play those games in a live stream environment. And I'm always big on transparency. I want you guys to always know what I'm doing, what I'm thinking, and what's going on. I never just try and change things and pretend that, this is the way things always were. I always want to keep you guys updated, not just in what's happening, but I even want you guys to always understand what I'm thinking. And that is why we have this little vlog, which I'm starting to set up. And this will be our first entry. Stay tuned for many more. And I do recognize that some people will be disappointed. You can't make it on without breaking eggs, and nobody will all change. And I completely understand that, and I wouldn't blame certain people that were just watching the channel specifically because all they wanted to see was one game in particular. And if they want to move on, I hold no ill will towards you guys, and hope you find another Neverwinter or MMO streamer that tickles your pickle. But we got to do what's best for the channel overall, for the long-term health of the stream, and for my enjoyment as a gamer and a broadcaster. If you have any questions, of course, feel free to shoot me a line on my Twitch channel. Shoot me a PM. And that's it. This is vlog entry number 1. Cheers.